Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme. My name is Tom Dunn and I'm your host, and today our subject is water. And with us today we have the chair of the Port Hueneme Water Authority, Jim Estomo. Welcome, Jim.
Oh, thank you, Tom.
Jim, if you could first let our viewers know, can you give us a little background on the Port Hueneme Water Authority?
The Port Hueneme Water Agency was started in 1996, and its basic goal was to acquire water from other sources other than some of the deep water wells that we had. And the reason they wanted to quit using the deep water wells was to stop seawater, saltwater intrusion. As an aquifer is drained and drops down, the pressure from the salt water or the ocean forces seawater into the aquifer, and that's what was one of the things that they definitely wanted to prevent. So Channel Islands Beach Services District and the City of Port Hueneme came together to find a way to do this, and they formed the Port Hueneme Water Agency, and this was in 1996. The United States Navy is also part of the agency. They are a wholesale customer, as are the City of Port Hueneme and Channel Islands Beach Services District.
Can you just give us an overview of where we draw our water from? I know there's a couple sources.
Right now, the water agency gets its water from United Water Conservation District, which gets their water that they sell us from an aquifer out of deep water and shallow water wells. And we also get part of our water from Callegas Municipal Water District, which is a part of Metropolitan Water District.
Okay, so water from these three sources, it comes to the Port Hueneme water treatment plant, is that correct?
Yeah, it comes from the two sources, United and Callegas, and we purchase our water from them, and then in turn we send it to the treatment plant on Perkins Road, where it goes through a RO system, which what we call polishes it, but it clarifies and purifies the water. It's a reverse osmosis system. I'm sorry I used the short term RO, but it's a reverse osmosis system, which is a system that forces the water through filters and takes out minerals and other things, and again softens the water more.
Okay. Now we've had a change in the water, the aesthetics of it that people noticed over the last 9 months, 12 months, and what's the issue that we need to look at, and how is that going to be addressed? Is there any solution that we see coming up?
Yeah, the result of the lesser quality water that you're getting is because of the fact that we've been in a drought for 5 years, and the levels of the aquifers have been dropping. And as we said before, we received our water from United, part of our water from United, which draws its waters from these wells. So they've been having to use deeper and deeper water wells. In other words, the shallower, say for 50 feet, the deep waters go even deeper. I'm using those as an example. These deeper water wells have iron and manganese in them. These are minerals that are detrimental to our filters at the treatment plant on Perkins Road. Consequently, we're not able to run our water through those filters. We're basically mixing it now with a little bit more of Callegas water to bring it up to the acceptable standards, and then we're delivering the water. The only way, there's two ways that we could address this system. Number one, we could use more rain, which would then raise the water levels in the aquifer. So that would mean that coming out of the drought. The other systems would be for United to build a plant to filter out the iron and manganese out of the water, so that when it's delivered to the Port Hueneme Water Agency, we could then run that water through our plant through the reverse osmosis system. And that would bring the water back up to what we were having before we had to shut the plant down.
So are there any other alternative solutions between now and then? And I'm assuming one is even better conservation. How does it look between now and 20 years if we were even able to get a desalinization plant?
You know, that's a very interesting question. You can do different systems to keep reusing or purifying more and more of the water that you normally are not going to use. We have inland desalters that are taking water that right now is too briny for use, and they're desalting them. That takes a lot less time because it's inland. You don't have to dip into the ocean, so the environmental impact reports and the permitting that you have to do are less time consuming and less costly than saltwater desal. But again, you know, the truth of the matter is water is a source that we don't have any more of. It's a fixed source of water. So when you say what more can we do to obtain water, it's like, kind of like how thin can you slice an apple pie? How many slices can you get out of an apple pie?
The other issue that many people are interested in are the water rates. And there are fixed costs and variable costs. I don't really know what all that means. Can you explain what that means to our ratepayers?
Yeah, the fixed costs are costs that go on no matter what the water delivery situation is. For example, the Perkins Road water treatment plant still has to be manned. It still has certain maintenance issues that have to be taken care of. The delivery system, which are your water pipes, have to be maintained. I mean, if they spring a leak, it has to be repaired. Your labor is fixed costs. So those are some of the fixed costs. Your variable costs are the actual purchase of water and those related to the purchase of that water, which would be the chemical usage, things like that. And the only way to really address water costs is through conservation, because your variable costs, as if one keeps up with the water situation in California today, in all probability will continue to go up. As as water becomes scarcer and scarcer, means are going to have to be used to acquire more water or make the water that's available more usable.
Well, you know, this, to our viewers, is the basics of water. And it gets a lot more complicated, and we plan to have a couple more shows on the water, the different ways the transaction between cities and counties and state and federal come about and have an effect on how much water we have, the quality of water we have, and the price that we have. And so I look forward to you coming back. And if any of our viewers have any ideas, I'm sure we'd love to hear about it. And thanks for your time and appreciate it very much.
Well, thank you. It's nice to have a conversation about this.